Stop! If you're thinking of investing in floors or are just about to install brand new floors, you must watch this video. These are common mistakes that a lot of homeowners make when they're installing new floors, and I don't want you to make any of these mistakes and regret either selecting a certain type of floor or making installation mistakes. This is a must-watch video. Let's get into it. The biggest area where I see homeowners making a mistake is the installation. They just don't have the proper installation and did not go to the correct prep work. So right now I'm referring to 3 products. It's luxury vinyl plank or LVP, engineered hardwood floors or hardwood floors. It is so important that you acclimate this product in your home. So when that big truck comes up and loads a big pallet on your garage driveway, you got to bring that stuff in the house and you need to let it sit and acclimate to the climate and temperature of your home. Each product will expand and contract. LVP, not as much, but it does have that ability to expand and contract. So this is how it goes. With hardwood floors, you want to have them in your house 5 to 7 days. I err on 7 days. If you're doing engineered hardwood floors, you want to keep that in your house, I'd say 2 to 4 days because they don't move as much. And then that LVP, I'd say 24 to 72 hours. I always err on the longer side, better safe than sorry. And by the way, if you don't acclimate your floors properly, the manufacturer may void their warranty. In bringing this into the house and you're acclimating it, please take pictures and verify that you are in fact acclimating the product properly. Okay, folks, I cannot stress how important it is for you to read the manufacturer's instructions on how to install the floors. Most of them have very specific recommendations on how to acclimate the floors. So most of the manufacturers recommend a temperature of 60 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and they also make a humidity recommendation between 30 and 50%. Now you're going to want to check your manufacturer's label, but if you don't follow that or you can't prove that you were installing those floors with their instructions, they could come back to you and say, sorry, the warranty is null and void because you didn't follow our instructions. Take pictures, document when you installed those floors. This could save you a lot of time, energy, and money. I told you, you would learn something. Your manufacturer of your floors are also going to recommend moisture reading. There's a variance. Usually it's between 2 and 4%. Okay, what am I talking about? You should get a moisture reader, or your installer should have a moisture gauge, and you put this on the subfloors and the plank itself, and it should read between 2 and 4% max. If it's higher than that, you want the boards and the subfloor to dry out. So dang important. A lot of you get these shipments that land on the driveway, it rains, and then the installer shows up, you put them down there, and the moisture reading is way higher. Once again, you want to document and take pictures of the moisture levels in your house, on the subfloors, and on the planks. And of course, y'all know I got my Amazon storefront, and I do highly suggest you order this moisture gauge. I will link it down below, and it's also on my Amazon storefront. It's a great investment. You can check water leaks and any water damage. It's a great tool to have. And by the way, I did this amazing video that no one's watching about all the gadgets you should have when you own a house to maintain it. I will link it right here. It's one of my favorite videos. No one else thinks so, but it's really helpful. I will link that video down below as well. If you have tile or ceramic floors, you do not need to acclimate the product to your home, thankfully. However, the manufacturer more than likely is going to make some recommendations regarding the moisture levels of installation. So I would highly suggest if you are installing those tile floors that you do check the moisture in the floors and on the tile before installation. Very important that you do that as well. Another big mistake that I see homeowners and general contractors making is that they underestimate the waste, how much waste occurs during application or installation. You might have a certain product like a tile that cracks very easily. So you might need a lot more tiles to finish the installation, or the wood may not be as easy cut or it splinters easy, so they need more. I'm always amazed at how much waste occurs during installation. So I always recommend ordering about 15 to 20% more than you need. I know that sounds like a lot, but it's always nice having extra. So if there's any major event that happens in your house that's not ideal, at least you have the proper matching boards that you can use as a backup. One of the mistakes that I made in my own house is I found these beautiful floors that I just love. And by the way, I did a video last week, which is getting a lot of attention. So you might want to watch that if you haven't already. It's about, hey, if you're looking for floors and you're thinking about investing in them, watch this video. And in that video, I take my wood floors that are in my house and I'm showing the comparison of some of the other options. And the reason why I did that is because my floors got discontinued. And I'm so dang bummed. I love the floors. Now, there are some very close products that I could probably get away with, but I had intended to put the hardwood floors in some of my secondary bedrooms. I did not put hardwood floors in my secondary bedrooms. In hindsight, what I wish I would have done is just bought all that wood and stored it somewhere, because at least I know the floors are going to match, the grain's going to match, the tone's going to match, and I don't have to sort of try to match what I already have. So if you know down the road that you want to do certain rooms in a certain wood, but you just can't afford the installation, maybe you buy extra and store it in your garage or in a room somewhere or in a closet for that day when you can't afford it, because trying to match it is just really hard to do. It's so dang hard. And even if you decide that you're going to do a project a year from now, just realize you can order the same product with the same company, but because there was different die lots, or they ordered it or cut the wood down at a different time, it will look differently. So just think about that when you're making this big investment, because it does not look good when you have floors that sort of match. Doesn't look good. Pro tip: before you rip out your floors and install new floors, I would highly suggest that you take out a few tiles or take out a few wood planks and see how they were installed. Because you don't want to make the mistake that I made when I ripped out my floors, because I did not know what I was getting myself into. When I bought this house, I was fit to be tied. No way am I dealing with those upstairs hardwood floors. And the reason why I didn't like my hardwood floors upstairs is because they weren't the right color and they had some imperfections, and oh my goodness, I just want to do my own thing. And granted, they were in really bad shape, but the cost of restaining them or resurfacing was really expensive. And I decided, oh, just bite the bullet. Let's put those hardwood floors in. But what I failed to do is check how the previous installer installed the floors. They literally just took these boards and they glued them in on the main level of my first level ceiling. So when we were removing these floors, we were literally taking the ceiling with us from the first level. Literally. I was like, I've never seen anything like this. And the general contractors were all fit to be tied. They were madder than a hornet because it was extra work for them. But I did not calculate this additional cost because we had to put hardy backer all on that main level. And the other cost that I did not really think about was once we put the hardwood floors on, guess what? The floors are now sitting higher than my floors in the bathroom. So we had to do a workaround for that. And let's not forget, now I have to readjust all my doors. So I had to go cut my doors down because now that wood is higher. So what lesson can we learn from that? Well, first of all, if you are putting brand new floors in and you're working with existing product like a tile in a bathroom, you need to understand or calculate the heights. If the floors you're putting in is a little bit higher, that workaround can be very expensive. And more importantly, it can be a trip hazard or it can look just ugly. Like every time I walk into my primary bedroom, I was going to have to do this weird little up and down thing because the installer made this thing work. It's not ideal. I don't like it. The other thing is maybe you just keep what you have. In hindsight, the floors that I originally had in my house really weren't that bad. And I should have taken my own advice. I should have preserved those hardwood floors and I wouldn't have had to deal with all the hassle. Now, I am contemplating putting wood floors in my secondary bedrooms, but now here I am, I'm up against this major problem because I have hardy backer on most of the floors upstairs, and now I have bathrooms that are slightly lower. So don't make that mistake. It's a major nightmare to work around. And also when your buyers go to buy your house, they're going to be looking at that as well. Sometimes you should just be happy with what you have. I'm trying to learn that lesson. As I get older, I really do appreciate that. Okay, this one drives me crazy, crazy, crazy. When I go to sell homes, I can't tell you how many times this comes up. Why are there so many flooring materials in the house? You got the porcelain wood floors, you got the luxury vinyl, you got different color wood floors upstairs, you have multiple different laminates. Like this looks like a showcase for some flooring company. Like, why are there so many different materials in this house? Usually buyers think that there was a slab leak or there's some issue and then you had to put floors in. So you just kind of put all these different flooring materials. And some of you, that is the case. Like, yeah, that's why we did it. We didn't want to have to redo all the floors so they all match. Just understand when you go to sell your house, your buyers are going to ask the question, what issues, what would happen here? Tell me why there's so many floors. And the second thing is they're going to expect a discount because they don't want all those floors. Now, some of you have reached out to me saying, well, Audra, I just can't afford to put all brand new floors in my house. Like that's the only workaround we could do. That's fine. Don't worry about it. But just understand that your buyer is going to want a discount. So don't overprice your house. Just price it as if, hey, we're giving you a discount because we know you're going to put your own floors in. But you don't ask a premium for non-premium floors. Pretty simple. All right, quick intermission. For those of you who have never met me before, my name is Audra Lambert. I'm one of the top selling realtors in good old Orange County, California. And I'm for hire. You can contact me right here. Before I was a realtor, I had my own interior design business called Cashmere Designs. Oh, those were the days. It's so much fun. Anyway, before that, I used to be a computer nerd. I used to work for a company called Ingram Micro. And all you Ingram Microites out there, you might remember me as Audra Lynch. That was my maiden name. I was the sales director there, had a great deal of fun. But I do approach my business a little bit differently. I approach it from a design perspective as well from a very, I'll just say, business perspective. And I like to share my knowledge and put the power back into the consumer's hands. So if you wouldn't mind, smash the like button and leave me any comments or questions down below. I am planning on doing some more YouTube live videos so I can be more in person and help serve you in a much proficient manner. All right, let's get back into the video. So a common mistake I see homeowners making is they use a hard surface product like tile or porcelain tile, ceramic tile, hardwood floors, luxury vinyl, anything that's hard surface, and they will put it in the high traffic areas. So in the entry hallways or in all the hallways or in the kitchen or in the bathrooms, and then they put carpet everywhere else. And then as time passes, they decide, oh my goodness, that office area, the carpet in there is looking nasty. What should I do? Should I match the hard surface flooring and put it in the office since that's obviously a higher traffic area? So what they decide to do is they go down to Home Depot and they sort of match the hard surface floor and put it in the office, but it never matches. It never matches. So you spend all this money with the installation and the product and it looks hodgepodge. Don't do that. So what would I recommend my clients doing? If they're selling their home, I'm going to tell them, hey, go get a carpet cleaner, clean the carpet, and let's go buy a really pretty rug. Let's go stick the rug in the office, a little bit oversized. If it gets dirty, we can always wash it. And then when you move off the property, you can take your beautiful rug with you. I'm serious. Because if you go down to Home Depot and get a carpet installed in the office, you know, it's never going to match. It's always going to look a little bit different. And more than likely, your buyer's going to rip it out anyway. Now, for those of you that are like, no, Audra, I'm going to be here for a very long time and I'm not going to live on my nasty rug. It's too beat up. My dog did a bunch of things and there's a bunch of chew marks and I just don't want to deal with the rug. I have this swirly little office chair. Then great, go put carpet in there. But I would not recommend you installing any type of tile or any hardwood floor because it's very difficult to rip out and it's more expensive. So try to be as uniform as possible when you install your floors. Don't have all these different things. And in that office example of the carpet, you know, if you tear the carpet out and put hard surface flooring, you don't really know if the flooring that was installed, like the ceramic tile or the hardwood in the entry, is going to match the same height as what the new product you're going to install. So once again, it might be very costly for you to put in a hard surface flooring, even if it's LVP, which is fairly reasonable to remove. But if it's not the right height, you have to spend extra on the floating of the floors, and it's a whole to-do. So it could be more cost prohibitive than you think. If you want my opinion, just keep the carpet. Keep the carpet, put a rug over it. Another mistake that I see homeowners making is they get too suckered into the trends, right? I made a lot of those mistakes. I mean, I'm a trendy kind of gal. But, you know, we did the Tuscan era and we did the farmhouse era. And now I call it the George Jetson era. I don't know. I still don't get all that rounded furniture. But if you want to do trendy stuff, do it in the furnishings, do it in the artwork, but make the major investments very simple, very plain. So your floors shouldn't make a big statement. Your backsplash, your cabinets in your kitchen, the major investments in your house should be pretty boring. And if you want to spice it up, then spice it up with some of your decor. Because when you go to sell your home, someone might walk in and say, I don't like those hardwood floors, or I don't like your Tuscan wood cabinet built in that you spent $20,000 on. So the big investments, when in doubt, go simple. Let's talk about patterns in wood installation, because I've got a lot of you reaching out saying, Audra, how should I lay my floors? Tell me exactly how to do it. Should I do a diagonal installation? Should I do a herringbone installation? Should I do a chevron installation? What do you suggest? Boring is better. We don't do any crazy sideways diagonal. It's annoying. Okay. We shouldn't be drawn to the floors. It should just be a backdrop for your inspiration or your decorations. Now, with that said, I am in love fantasizing about my black and white checker entry. It's a diamond installation. You guys have all seen it. You can do kind of a beigey white installation. There's a gray and white. There's a black and white. I don't care. I love it. Love it. And before I die, I will have an entry that's that black and white installation. I just love it so much. I can't even stand it. However, if you are investing in your home, I'm going to tell you, don't do that. It's too style specific. Don't do it. You're not going to get the return on your investment. I've sold a lot of homes that have that diamond installation at the entry, and I'd say 9 times out of 10, people rip it out and put their own thing. And I see what's trending right now is that herringbone or chevron pattern. I am all for it. I love it. Love it. And by the way, the difference between chevron and herringbone pattern, the chevron has a 45-degree angle. The herringbone has about a 90-degree angle, a little bit more intricate. I do prefer herringbone. Just my thing. But nonetheless, it's busy. It's a very hot trend right now. However, I think in a few years, we're going to be like, oh, we're sick of all those squiggly things on the floors and on the backsplashes, okay? So if you are installing floors, I'm going to suggest you stay away from that pattern. You're not going to listen to me, but you'll come back in 10, 15 years. You're going to say, oh, that lady wasn't wrong. So if you cannot help yourself and you want to do a chevron and herringbone pattern, then I would suggest doing a kitchen backsplash or put it in the bathrooms because it's much easier to rip those out than your floors. Okay, let's talk about what's trending. So this rectangle shape is really trending right now. And I do like it. I don't think you can ever go wrong with it. I do like grout lines that are really tight. You don't want thick grout lines because everyone thinks thick grout lines get dirty and they're porous and they carry a lot of germs. So you want to do a really tight grout line. That's my suggestion. I like the rectangle. But the reason why I'm showing you these 2 tiles is a big mistake that I see homeowners making is they go with the shiny tile. Okay, people hate shiny tile right now. It's slippery, it scratches easy. Stay away from shiny. Something matte like this is your friend. And see how boring this is? We do this, not this. Another mistake I see homeowners and installers making is they put the baseboards on first and they're not the right height. So they put the baseboards and they put the flooring against the baseboards like, okay, we're good. No, you put your flooring first and then you put the baseboards on top. And if you are installing hardwood floors, you're going to want to leave a little margin so that when the baseboards go on top, that the floors can expand and contract and they won't buckle. Super important. Now, your next question is going to be, how many inches should my baseboards be? Now, most of you out there have 2 to 3 inch baseboards, and that is just a travesty because baseboards can just really elevate your home. So I would say 7 1/4. 7 1/4 is the perfect height for baseboard. And a lot of you think I just lost my mind because you're like, honey, that's so high. That's halfway up my wall. It's not. It is so beautiful. Now, with that said, I have 5-inch baseboards because I ordered this little special little piece to go on top. So it'd be right around 7 1/4. Well, it got discontinued. I never got it. I was in a hurry. I painted it and I still have these 5-inch baseboards and they look awful. So 7 1/4. If you want to impress me, 7 1/4. And if you have 7 1/4 baseboards, let me know what you think about them. I know you love them. Who wouldn't love those baseboards? Don't skimp on baseboards. They make a huge statement. And I think that's really where I want you to focus when you're renovating your home is less is more. You don't have to do so much. Friendly reminder, here's my website. If you go to my website, www.lambertgrouphomes.com, on the very front page, there is a resource guide that you can download. And in that resource guide, it has a full flooring guide. It has a staging guide, a home inspection checklist. It has paint colors, yada, yada, yada. It even has questions that you can ask your real estate agent so you can select the best agent out there. And if you are thinking about selling your home in the near future, highly suggest you start selecting agents now because they can give you wise counsel. So I'm talking to you about flooring in California. Flooring choices in Florida is going to be much different than here because it's a high humidity state. So your agent in your area will be able to give you some proper guidance. On my website, on the front page is also a referral link. So if you would like some agents to interview, we're happy to provide those. There's no obligation. It's so important that you interview a few agents so you select the best representation out there. Cannot stress how important that is. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. I hope you got some value out of this video. Please smash the like button and do comment down below any other topics you want me to discuss. Have a great one. I'll see you in the next video.